Everyone dreams of becoming a millionaire. But here's a secret most people don't know. The hardest milestone in wealth building is not $1 million. It's the first $100,000. Getting from 0 to 6 figures feels almost impossible. You save for years, sacrifice, work long hours, and the number barely moves. But once you cross that $100,000 mark, something magical happens. Your wealth doesn't just grow slowly, it starts to skyrocket. Today, I'll show you why the first $100,000 is the toughest, and why after you hit it, the game completely changes. 1. Why the first $100,000 feels impossible. Before $100,000, every dollar feels like a battle. Saving $1,000 on a $40,000 salary feels like climbing a mountain. At $10,000, the numbers don't move fast. A 7% return is just $700 a year. That's not life-changing. This is why most people give up early. The progress looks tiny compared to the effort. Example: imagine you're pushing a giant snowball uphill. In the beginning, it barely moves, and you're sweating. That's what wealth feels like before $100,000. But here's the thing. Once you reach the top of the hill, once you hit $100,000, that snowball starts rolling downhill. It gathers momentum on its own. 2. The mindset shift at $100,000. When you hit 6 figures, your relationship with money changes. You're no longer worried about a small emergency wiping you out. You stop seeing yourself as someone just getting by and start seeing yourself as an investor. You now have proof that discipline, saving, and investing actually work. Psychological example: at $5,000 saved, a 500-pound car repair feels like a disaster. 10% of your entire net worth gone. At $100,000, that same 500 pounds is only 0.5%. Annoying, but not devastating. This shift in confidence makes you calmer, smarter, and more willing to make long-term decisions instead of panicking over short-term setbacks. 3. Compound interest comes alive. The real magic of $100,000 is that compounding finally becomes noticeable. Let's compare. $10,000 at 7% equals $700 per year. $100,000 at 7% equals $7,000 per year. $1 million at 7% equals $70,000 per year. The percentage is the same, but the absolute growth explodes. Illustration: saving $10,000 feels slow because the returns are small. At $100,000, your investments start generating more than many people's monthly salaries. And that happens without you lifting a finger. This is why legendary investor Charlie Munger once said, "The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. After that, you can let it roll." 4. Access to better opportunities. Money attracts opportunity. Once you've built 6 figures, new doors open. You can buy property or put down a serious deposit. Banks and brokers take you seriously. You qualify for investments that require minimums of $50,000 or $100,000. Even people around you see you differently. They view you as someone disciplined and successful. Example: a person with $2,000 in savings can't invest in real estate. But with $100,000, they can put down $20,000 on a rental property, leverage a mortgage, and start earning passive income. This creates a wealth snowball effect. Your money earns money, which buys assets, which then earns more money. 5. The snowball effect. Think of wealth as a snowball rolling down a mountain. At first, it's tiny. You push, and nothing seems to happen. But as it grows, it gets heavier and faster. Eventually, it becomes unstoppable. Numbers. Example: start with $100,000, add $1,000 per month, invest at 7%, you'll reach $500,000 in about 15 years. But if you start from zero, it might take 20+ years to hit the same number. That initial $100,000 is like rocket fuel. It bends the timeline of wealth in your favor. 6. Psychological freedom. At $100,000, money stops being a constant source of stress. You finally feel secure. You're not one emergency away from disaster. Confident. You know you can build wealth. Free. You can take smarter risks, like switching jobs, starting a business, or investing more aggressively. This confidence is priceless. It changes how you think about your future. 7. From $100,000 to $1 million. Here's the exciting part. Once you hit $100,000, getting to $1 million becomes realistic. $100,000 invested with $1,000 added per month at 7%, approximately $1 million in 22 years. But starting at zero, it takes around 30 years. The first $100,000 saves you almost a decade of compounding time. This is why the first 6 figures is the hardest, but also the most important. 8. Why most people never reach $100,000. Sadly, most people never hit this milestone, even though it's one of the most important financial goals anyone can achieve. It's not because they lack the ability or opportunity. It's usually because of a few common traps that quietly sabotage progress over time. Lifestyle creep. As income increases, spending almost always follows. Instead of saving or investing the extra money, people reward themselves with bigger houses, nicer cars, new gadgets, and expensive habits. Before they know it, every raise and bonus disappears into a higher cost of living, leaving little to nothing left for building real wealth. Debt, credit cards, personal loans, and car payments are silent killers of wealth. Even small amounts of debt come with interest that slowly drains away savings, keeping people stuck in a cycle where they work hard but never actually get ahead. The more debt you have, the harder it is to save and invest consistently. Impatience. The early years of investing feel painfully slow, like watching paint dry. Many people get discouraged because their progress seems tiny at first. They quit too soon, never giving compounding the time it needs to truly work its magic. The reality is that building wealth at the start feels like pushing a massive boulder uphill. It takes an enormous amount of effort just to see small results. Growth is slow, progress feels invisible, and it's easy to question whether it's even worth it. But here's the secret. Most people never realize. The first $100,000 is the hardest, but it's also the most important milestone. Once you break through it, everything begins to shift. Your money starts working for you instead of just you working for money. The returns you earn on that $100,000 begin to snowball, generating more money on their own, and that growth accelerates over time. It's like crossing a bridge to the other side of financial independence. Before $100,000, you're pushing against gravity. After $100,000, gravity works for you. The compounding effect becomes so powerful that each year, progress feels faster and easier than the year before. Reaching $100,000 isn't the finish line. It's the launch pad. It's the point where wealth building stops being just a dream and starts becoming a self-sustaining reality. Once you get there, momentum takes over, and your net worth can grow at a speed you never thought possible. So stay disciplined, avoid lifestyle creep, crush your debt, and be patient in those slow, early years. Build to $100,000, and once you do, sit back and watch as your money begins to skyrocket toward your next big goal.